That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost me and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, to the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first season, the first 2 episodes, the second season.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hi everyone. I was going to have a history show, but after yesterday's escapade, I had to have one tonight. I really did. I had to have one. You know, I want your opinions on everything concerning the aftermath. It was a fantastic day. It brought pride to Liverpool. It brought pride to the whole of the city. On a rainy, cold day, people showed from everywhere. Liverpool and the outside, they all came down to celebrate something that we couldn't celebrate a few years ago. And as I said, I've seen some welcomes, some parades in the past. Even the 2005 one on St. George's Old Plateau, incredible. But yesterday, absolutely amazing. But what fucking got me was this. People jumping to fucking conclusions about deaths. Got right to me. Someone shouted, someone messaged me, oh, there's been 2 deaths. I went, oh, fuck off. How would they know that there's 2 deaths? It's only fucking happened. And that fucking got up right up my fucking nose. All the speculation. Saying, oh, look, it's a terrorist attack. It's all speculation. Because the people think that because what's happened in Germany and Sweden and France and everywhere else, even in America, Russian cars, they just jump to speculation. You've got to find out what's happened, really, instead of saying, oh, look what's happened. Then the deaths came out, which was a load of bollocks. That was very upsetting for people. It upset me. And now we have the fucking comedians, don't we? Have you seen that fella on Facebook? Have you seen him? What's happening with him? And have you seen them tweets? Oh, fucking hell, I'd fucking go through crowds just to get away, just to get out of Liverpool. Have you seen these tweets? How upsetting is that? This was our day. And you have this fucking fella, some arsehole, in Dale Street. What's he doing there? Well, information's coming out. I'm going to see what he's saying. There's a big old Frank. See you later. Snoopy. I'm not sure I speak for everyone on this podcast and the wider population in proffering our condolences to those affected by yesterday's mindless actions of someone who taken leave of their senses. Tony, even if Frankie, Tony, Daryl Merry, prayers to all our copites affected yesterday. You'll never walk alone. To that scumbag, you hear kids, never be forgiven. Absolutely, Snapey. Good evening to you, and especially to you, Frank, says Barry Elder. Thank you, Barry. Simon, hi, Frank. Hope you're well. Thoughts and prayers for everyone affected yesterday. Questions need to be addressed. How the car was allowed to tailgate into the area while they're yeah. People have done this before, not on days like this, don't get me wrong, but they've tailgated an ambulance just to get, to their particular destination on roads. I've seen it happen, just tailgating an ambulance and then just veers off from the ambulance. I've seen it, but not yesterday. You've got to. We can speculate as much as we want. Paul Turner. I was at the parade, Frank. Luckily, me and my wife wasn't in the area at the time. We could see what was happening when we was getting the ferry back home. Thoughts and prayers to everyone. Thank you, Paul. Looks like everyone is likely to recover according to the news, which is a godsend, says Barry Aldridge. Yes. Darryl, Frankie is a passionate man. Frankie did warn me not to speculate and wait for the truth. Love you, Frankie. Thank you. Hi, Frank and everyone. I would like to send best wishes to all affected by the car event yesterday. Oh, Paul, have a speedy recovery. The Scottish prayers with us. Frank, good to see you. The Liverpool fans at their best yesterday. God bless everyone who was injured and their loved ones. One thing that's bothering me, that road was supposed to be closed. Exactly. Paul Omens, the police treat us with disdain. Yes. Yes. Johan, our brother here. Frank, my heart sank when I read about what happened yesterday. Thoughts and prayers were all affected by the horrible incident. Hope all of you legends are well. We're all angered, frustrated and upset, to be honest, Johan. It was a day of celebration and it became a day of tragedy. Now we have the fucking comedians. Lina, even if Frank dreadful yesterday, would love to punch that guy in his gob. And this is from a woman, this is from an elderly lady, this is. She's an elderly lady, is Lynn Ellis. Finding and showing where he went wrong, thoughts were everyone affected in yesterday, especially after a fab parade. You never wished my happy bit. I didn't know it was your birthday, Lynn. Honestly, I've been in other words, preoccupied, I'll say. Simon, I heard some wonderful story. People of all faiths offering car lifts or somewhere to stay overnight. Angry wasn't communicated. We just tarred with the same brush because of one. Not it. Ballards, barriers, none, says the polo mint. The issue with the internet is propagates. Yeah, propagates salacious narrative all too readily. It's a social issue that needs legislation passing to curtail such harmful and cruel, unsubstantiated reports. Good comment, that it really is. I'll be bringing on Dino in a moment because I know he was there. Lee Brady, hello Frank, how's you? On my way to work in a minute. What a day it was yesterday, full of ups and downs. Got there early, didn't realise how windy, cold and rainy it was. 7 hours later, we were so cold, didn't even see much of the bus with the amount of red smoke. And then to end it with the terrible tragedy. Then we were on lockdown in the car park for 3 hours. Nobody was allowed to move. Unreal day. Hope everyone is okay. That's lovely, that. Ray. That's the vlogs, by the way, when he comes on us, the vlogs. Lee Brady, the king. Hi Frank, hope everyone is well. Shocking events yesterday. Had a great day up until that happened. Ruined the night. Thoughts and prayers for everyone affected. I'll just go to my lovely friend Toscana. Ciao, Franco and everyone. Ciao, Toscana, Caramine. I hope everyone is okay. I've been reading comments on social media and I've had to reply to them as I'm disgusted at what I've been reading. I'm seething. I'm going to bring Dino in here. I'm going to bring him in. I'll just say this to LA. Is Callum there? I've never seen Callum. If I passed yet, I'm sorry. Oh, Callum there. Hello. Very saddening yesterday, says Callum. Yeah, I'll just read LA and I'll bring on Dino. I was standing outside the Bellman pub, but until 10 minutes before the bus passed, there were a few cars still passing. People were packed on the street, a disaster waiting to happen. John Q, thank you for your heartfelt comments. The hearts of a city are broken. No answers from the police as yet how the car got caught. Through the road closures, yes, got through the road closures. Frank, these fucking comedians trying to blame Liverpool fans, I ain't having that. I've got 2 Dinos here. I'm going to bring Dino on. Hiya, Dean.
Hiya, mate. All right.
I seen you there. Seen you on the telly at the match. First and foremost.
Yeah.
We were. I was doing the watch along, and all of a sudden, you this evening, which was good.
About 150 messages off everyone telling me.
That was good. You had to watch along. I was watching it, live, obviously, and then there's you with your little scarf, and so this thing. So that was good. That was good. So listen, I know you were there yesterday, but don't talk about the tragedy. What was it like being there with your lad at the moment that? Don't talk about the tragedy. I'm talking about when you first got there and the atmosphere and everything. What was it like?
Mate, it was unbelievable. And like, I'd missed the last 2 parades because I was coming home from Madrid and coming home from Paris the last 2 times that we had one. So it's the first parade that I've done probably since I don't know, was it probably the FA Cup in 2006 or no? When did we last win the FA Cup? Yeah, probably 2006.
2006, yeah.
First parade that I'd done since then. So like, I was determined to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? I went with me missus and me girls and our Jack, and you know, we got to town around 1:30, and it was just a carnival atmosphere. Like, I actually said to our Jack, I said it felt like a cup final. You know, when the Reds take over a city and everyone's bouncing and people were playing football in like Church Street and that, you know, they were keeping the ball up in the air and everyone's like, hey, and
that's what it was. It was a party mood. Everybody laughing, singing, and even dancing. You know, you could see like groups of lads and girls, you know, and they were in a circle, you know, bouncing up and down, you know, holding each other. And this is before the coach was hours away, if you know what I mean. And this is the way it was. And then when you heard of the horrible tragedy, what resonated with you immediately? Could you believe it? Could you go, well, no, this is not happening?
Well, to be honest, we'd parked in the Q car park next to the L1 bus station. So we were like literally, I mean, it was gridlocked, they weren't moving at all. But you could hear sirens. You know, you could hear like a lot of sirens, you know, police, ambulances. And you knew something had happened. You're probably thinking it's probably just, you know, hooligans or something, just like causing a bit of mischief. But that was the furthest thing away from my mind, that something like that could happen. But then within a couple of minutes of the ambulances and the police and all that running past, I was getting messages, and me missus's brother, who happened to witness everything unfold in front of his eyes, was, you know, told us exactly what happened, and my heart sunk, Frank. And you know, my first initial report was that it's got to be terror related, because we've seen this type of thing happen all over Europe, and you know, such a massive crowd like that, it was easy prey. Do you know what I mean? And it was just, it means at the minute, mate, I'm just absolutely relieved that there's been no fatalities. I mean, that's the main thing. And, you know, I want to pass on my thoughts and wishes to those who were injured and wish them all a speedy recovery.
See, the point is, when I first came out, I didn't speculate. And Darryl messaged me, strangely enough. And I said, don't speculate. No one knows what's happened. No one hasn't a clue.
Yeah.
What got me, I'm being honest here, Dino, you know, as you said, you know, this is happening all over Europe. It's happened in America, if you like. I'll never forget the Christmas market one when, you know, they went through, which is shocking. And that's what they target. I'm talking about terrorists. But I said, I don't like speculating, you see. So I thought, I'm going to wait until. Now, today, when I found out who it was, and all of a sudden, I don't know whether you noticed it. I think people did. I think they come on and gone like that. Hang on a minute. It was a white man.
Yeah.
Right away.
Reinforcing it.
Yes. And that's what everyone was doing. Every news media was outlining what this man was, the colour of his skin, whereas it didn't matter about colour of skin. And he came from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Do you see where it's going here?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
He came from Liverpool. So
I mean,
therefore, go on.
I can understand, because I think people's first reactions is that it's terror related, and they're going to think it's an ethnic minority. So I can understand, because there's obviously, you know, the implications of that are race wars and race riots. So I think in one respect, it's probably good to get the information out there quick and maybe, you know, reinforce it just so that there isn't this, like, you know, like mob mentality to go on like a siege or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
But it has happened. It has happened on social media. Everyone was speculating.
Social media is poisonous, mate. Absolutely poisonous. We're already being called fits the burns for it, and like as I heard you talking about that comedian, mate, and that's just absolutely ridiculous that someone
it's horrendous. It's horrendous. I was, you know, you don't come out with you know, supposed to be a comedian. This fat. I've got it somewhere on the. I just don't know anymore, to be honest. You know, it's just shock.
And mate, I can guarantee you, right, that 99% of the people in there that were in the city centre yesterday were on the best behaviour, mate. And I can guarantee that probably arrests were probably less than 10 arrests, and probably, you know, for like drunken disorderly maybe. And you know something like this happens, and it's always the same. It's always Liverpool and all this kind of stuff. And it's so frustrating. I've been arguing with people all over social media, like trying to tell them, like, they're all jumping to conclusions, as you say, and they're all putting their own little imprints on it. And then you've got the tinfoil hat wearing brigade, which, don't get me wrong, Frank, like, I love a conspiracy myself, you know what I mean, but I won't let facts get in the way of you know, the truth, you know what I mean?
No, that's what I do, you see. When I do these conspiracy theories on a Friday, it was my job. It was to break down all the propaganda, all the misinformation and everything to get right through that particular conspiracy and the theory that goes with it. But there's where you find out the truth right at the end of it, if you know what I mean.
The one thing that spooked me more than anything was the snipers on the roof.
Well, I know a lad, he's brilliant. And he said he's an ex-army fella. And he said no matter what, there's always a sniper. He clarifies why he was there. And it wasn't because of like terrorism or whatever. He said it's to protect from any sort of, if you know what I mean. It was brilliant the way he said it. Let me read it. I hope I haven't got my bloody glasses either.
It probably would have been better to do a current affairs show today.
No, no, you're right. I did have the message, and he was good, and I said thank you for clarifying. Oh, bloody hell, I can't find it. I'm useless, you see, absolutely useless. I've got that many messages, and it's very hard to. I'm sorry, but he did clarify why these people are there. Were you there? Yeah. So it was to clarify, you know, everything about this particular sniper. And he said, and there are snipers, you know, they're at these massive parades, unbeknown to you, because you're not looking for them. You're just enjoying yourself. That's what he said.
That's the assurance to know that it's, you know, it's not for dark purposes kind of thing.
No, of course it's not. I'll just see what the lads are saying. I'll just see, you know, and as Scottish Bear there, things up here. Scottish Bear, you know, one of our brothers here, he says, Frank, these fucking comedians trying to blame Liverpool fans. I hate having that, Frank. And this is it. It's the blame game again. That's what I mean about they were quick to say he's from Liverpool. Instead of just saying he was a 53-year-old white man, you know, which they did come out, but they specifically said he's from Liverpool.
Well, Frank, you know, this is all down to the Sun newspaper because it's thrown enough.
Of course it is.
Thrown enough mud that it's stuck now, and you know people like to reinforce this idea that we're all hooligans.
Yep. Well, this is what we're going to get now, unless it's nipped in the bud. And Barry Eldridge, you will always find idiots online, Frank. That's why I never use it. This is the only channel I use. Thank you, Barry. I hardly go on Facebook at all, you know. And why I'm on it now is simply to get the pods out of Facebook, because a lot of people use Facebook, as you know. But I hardly comment. I commented today, it was my daughter's birthday, to be honest, and I just commented. I commented yesterday as well. I said about, look at the welcome Liverpool have got it. And I've tweeted, what other city in the world was welcome a football club and a football team like Liverpool? The greatest passionate city. You know, I didn't exaggerate by saying that, you know, I just wanted to get it out there. This is while it was going on at the time, and then the tragedy happened, and I put it on Facebook that this is a great city. Look at us. Look at the fans. Look at the celebrations. Look at the faces and whatever I was saying. And then I had to come out with another comment by saying, you know, this happened. It's so sad.
It's just sad, isn't it? Loss of it.
Of course it is. Brian says it's not all it is, Brian, believe me.
I know, I was speaking to he was one of the ones who messaged me to say he saw me on the telly. And he says, even in Frank, mate, we have no luck. Heysel, Hills, I was at both of them. Then the COVID title. Now this, after yesterday's parade. Never get a break. Polo Mint. Why didn't Dale Street, Water Street have bollards? Can the police give me an answer? You'll never get the answer. They'll say that they had these, you know, barriers up. I don't know. Snapey, evening to you. Evening, Steve.
Simon, big up Dino, lad.
Nice one, Simon, mate.
And Callum says it's the famous lads of Sky Sports.
Look, I'm just a normal lad from Liverpool, living my dream.
Oh yeah, he's gonna become a Real Madrid fan. He'll be going on the Real Madrid channels next. Where's Dino? Oh, he's gone over to Madrid. Johan, sorry there, Johan. There he is, and this is our Man United brother. He's a great lad, this lad. Believe it, he's one of our brothers. There he is, a worldwide celebrity amongst us.
Nice one, mate.
Barry, good to hear from you, Dino.
Cheers, mate, and you, Barry.
And Brian says, we've seen you, Dino, over in Ireland here, mate. Good man, you'll never walk alone. Isn't that lovely?
Lovely comments.
Yeah, there you go. And the Scottish Bear. Frank, you and I are survivors of our biggest tragic event, says the Bear. I actually collapsed when this happened yesterday. It all came back to me. We Liverpool fans have suffered enough. No more.
Yeah.
But the media, we've got to look at the media. We've got to look at these pricks up and down the country. This is what we're looking at now. And when that fella fucking came out, someone put it up, messaged me on it and said, look at this. And it was a fucking tweet. Yeah, I would have driven through crowds just to get away from Liverpool. Think about it.
It's disgusting.
Think about that. And this is what it's all about. Ali says, and I've just stayed off Twitter because if I see stupid, disgusting comments, I'll retaliate and get banned. So I'm staying off it for a while. Don't blame you. The day, guys, smash them likes for Frank. Thank you. He carries on by subscribe to the channel also. And Scottish say 50 people in the chat. The Scottish Bear wants 50 likes now, please. Thank you, Bear. Thank you. We're all passionate on this podcast, as I said. We're just Liverpool fans. And especially with the summer coming and these supposed, transfer deals, we've all got our feet on the ground. We do want these players, but it's whether we get them or not. It's whether who goes from the club to get the money in to buy them, because no matter how you look at it, we're a sell-to-buy club.
Frimpong arrived, Danny.
Go on. What?
Frimpong arrived in Liverpool before on a private jet. Yeah, Sky Sports were reporting it. There was a private jet that had arrived in Liverpool airport, and it's Frimpong.
Well, I think the likes of Wirtz as well. People were saying, I wonder if they'll be at the ground, at the weekend for the last game. And I said, no. I said, how will it look to the fans of Leverkusen? I said, how would the fans look, if you know what I mean, that they're at a game at Liverpool, they're not even a Liverpool player, yet they're still a Leverkusen player. So I think that was good of them to stay away. Whether they were there or not, I don't know, incognito. And Paulo Wynn says, who is this comedian? Let me try and get this, because a very good friend of mine. I'll have to get my glasses. I should have brought them in. Just bear with me a moment. And can you answer that? Can you answer the Polo Mint while I go and get my glasses?
I can't remember his name. Was it Andrew? I can't remember his name. Polo Mint, to be honest. But whoever he is, he's just blackballed himself from ever doing any gigs in Liverpool. So it's just absolutely ludicrous that someone could come out and be so insensitive, especially after, there's still people that are injured and maybe even having life-changing injuries. So
I've got my reading glasses anyway. I hope you can see this, but this is the fella here. I'll just play what he said. Live in Southend. Caddy's the 14th of June, or whatever this fella is. I don't know who he is. It's been forwarded to me.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Constable Detective Officer Peter Pisspot from Twat Valley Police. Assalamu alaikum. No doubt many of you will be aware of the terrible incident that took place at a Liverpool FC parade yesterday, where a car ploughed into a crowd of people. Dozens of people were injured, and although this is an ongoing investigation, we are able to divulge that a white man has been arrested in relation to the incident. A white British man has been detained, and what we can reveal is that he is a white man. If he hadn't have been a white man, we would, of course, have kept his ethnicity secret for several days in the interests of diversity and inclusion, before possibly referring to him erroneously as a Welsh choir boy. As it is, the white man arrested in relation to this crime is a white man. Police and government officials have been working closely with national media outlets to ensure that the whiteness of the man in question is being reported as widely as possible, so that everyone knows about the fact that he is white. Obviously, it's imperative that we highlight the suspect.
And this is what we're having. And, the message was, this little prick thinks he's a comedian. And that's him there. He's a comedian. This is why it was. He's a fucking comedian, or I think he is.
No doubt many of.
And this is what we're going to get all the fucking time, unfortunately. And those tweets that were coming out was absolutely disgusting. And it's just fucking sad. I can't get them up. I can't get them up, unfortunately, what I've got. I'm just so pissed off with but as I said, and you said, and everybody else has said, it's the media. It's the media. They've got a stranglehold on Liverpool for some reason. They've got a stranglehold on every Liverpool supporter. This is why, when we go to games, I always remember Chelsea fans, and I'm going back years ago. I'll never forget this. Just bear me out on this, Dino. And they were waving, believe it or not, £10 notes. Yeah. £10 notes at us. You know, in their little ends at the Anfield Road end. Then them £10 notes, after a few years, became £20 notes. Now they started waving £50 notes. And this is what it's all about. Feed the scousers, the bin dippers, and the hatred. And this is what's happening today. This is what's happening today. As I said, I can't get it up, unfortunately. A fucking tweet that said, I'd fucking run through crowds. And this is what he said. I'd fucking drive through crowds just to get away from Liverpool. And this is what we have to put up with. And yes, we've been voted the most friendliest, warm-hearted city in the UK, the whole of the UK. And we get this. But we stick together. That's the main thing. We gather together and we stick together because Liverpool, we're just one big family. Anyone who goes against us will fucking get it back. They'll get the consequences. They will feel the consequences. But it's this media, the media outlets, that's so fucking frightening. That causes all this. Paul Berg, good evening, Frank. Don't want to speculate, but still a lot of questions to be answered for why he was in the area when people on Mars knew what was happening, and he drove into the crowd with menace. Gary Rigby, evening, Frank. What a crazy weekend. Hope you're all good. Thank you. My grandkids were there, as you fucking bellend. This is it, you say. We're all angry. But the frustration is with everybody else. As Simon says, Merseyside police were pressurised by the government to get it out early. It doesn't matter what colour, creed or where they were from. The failures after Southport has led to this and just made it worse. Great comment. Yeah. Great comment. There was no bad behaviour where I was, and the Scousers really welcomed and entertained me, says the LA. I just love all of them except that twat who carried out that crime. I'm already missing Liverpool city centre and my old mate Jeff Ellison. I still have trouble getting my head around what happened yesterday. I watched the parade on LFC TV and that it was immense. Then social media started minutes after the awful incident in Walter Street. I was sickened by the videos coming on Facebook, etc. How quickly people thought it was the terror related, which was understandable. I couldn't believe how quickly the authorities came out with the details of the arrest. Sickening, mate. That's from an old mate of mine, yeah. But anyway, I think, honestly, I wasn't going to do one tonight. I really wasn't, because I was going to do a history show and I was just going to do an ordinary pod on the Thursday, football pod. But I had to do it tonight because of yesterday's thing. And it's just tarnished what would have been one of the greatest of all, and I mean this, one of the greatest of all welcoming parades anywhere in the world, might I add. It was incredible, people down. But what it was the rain, it was the coldness, people getting drenched, yet they were loving every moment to see their football team, their players. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't like getting wet, Frank, but you know, yesterday I wasn't bothered.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't bothered. I seen a girl, she was absolutely drenched, a young girl, but she was smiling. She must have been with a fella or whatever, and she was smiling, and you know, she was really jolly. She was happy, and she couldn't wait for the bus to come down. And that's what it was like. I'm just pointing her out because that girl was absolutely soaking wet, you know, her hair.
Yeah.
And, you know, I said, well, that's what it's all about.
It was such a lovely atmosphere. I mean, you know, I had Scousers around me. I had, you know, people that weren't from the city around me. It was just a lovely mix of everything that makes Liverpool so unique and special.
Yeah, absolutely. And our comments are absolutely brilliant. The bear says, the problem is, Frank, that, Frank, nobody trusts the government. As soon as Starmer, the hammer opens his mouth, people became, yes. Yeah, as soon as he opens his mouth, that should have been, you know, you get these predicted texts. And Gary says, I've seen some really nasty comments about this under the Billy Moore videos. They are loving this. It's giving them fuel. And that fuel will never die. I'm telling you now. It'll never die, because next season you'll have the fans again coming in. Do you know what I'd do? I'm not being horrible. I'd fucking ban all the away fans from Anfield. As well, I'd just ban them. Fuck off. You're not sitting there bringing your vileness into the ground. You're not doing it. I'd just fucking ban them and give all the tickets to me. You want to go to the game. To go along with you, Lee. Honestly, Dino. I was just over the road from the Liver building. It was a great atmosphere, but too many red flares. I walked down Water Street before the incident, only found out an hour later. See? Sorry to go off tangent a little bit, but yesterday's show of support for our club is the manifestation of our devotion to our cause, a stellar institution with stellar supporters. Oh, great comment.
And that draws a lot of envy as well, Frank.
Of course, jealousy.
Other teams and fans, they look at us and they think, you know, we can't match that. So what we'll do is we'll just try and ridicule them and you know, use anything against them to try and incite a response.
I've got a lot of you know, who's tunes in, listens, just comment if you want to comment, you know, don't be afraid. And if you can, you know, subscribe to the channel, please. Get the algorithm up there. I don't ask for money, I don't ask for anything. And you know what, you know, I've got to say this, with the season being over, and my grandson, he won the watch. You know, the fantasy football.
Yeah.
He won the watch. And you know what? He said, Granddad, I said, what? He said, can I have another watch? Because, you know, I've got watches. And I went, do you want that one? He went, and I said, well, all right, what one do you want? I'll show you what he picked. I have to put a picture up. I said, okay, you know, no problem. Let me just get it. I took a picture of him. And it was
very smart.
to Cartier, you know.
Very smart.
And I said, are you sure you want that? He said, yeah, granddad. Yeah, I'll show you the better there. And that was it.
Really nice, that.
So he got that, he was made up. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah, just take it, no problem, you want it. So, and he was made up with it. He's a good kid, my grandson. And I'm made up he won.
Chip off
And
the
really,
old.
do you know what though, Dino? I don't know, I haven't a clue about this, you know. You know, the most solid autograph
Yeah.
program. I haven't a clue who's winning this. You know, the fantasy, you know, the Champions League fantasy. I haven't a clue.
Well,
I don't know what's happening. So I might have to fucking keep that until next season.
Well, I can tell you who's not winning it. Definitely me.
I just might say, do you know what I might do if I don't find out in the next few weeks? I might just have a draw. All the lads on here who are C, you know, from the likes of Willie to the likes of Simon to the likes of yourself, Brian, Scottish Bird, a lot of them, you know, the outfielder, Redbird, all the boys, Snapey, Darryl, everybody. I'll just write a list. I won't miss anybody else. Just give me a few names. Even Toscana, you know, our beautiful Italian girl who supports us. And I'll do that. Put all the names in, cross all the little names up, throw them in something, and do it live. Say like that's me at, because I have got it at. And I'll just pick it out. I'll show the names first, you know, and just pick it out.
Do a live draw.
Yeah, for that. That's what I'll do. That's the only thing I can do. Everything is authentic about this wonderful thing. Most Salah's autograph. And do you know why that's unique? I'll tell you why it's unique, the programme. And Most Salah's autograph, authentic autograph there, is he scored the first goal to win us, you know, to go on and win the European Cup, you know, the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I think that's unique, and I think it'll be a fantastic memorabilia, piece of memorabilia, obviously, rather than anything else. What do you think?
Posh.
I'll put your two girls' names in as well. Little Darcy. You might win it. You never know.
Yeah.
If the media wants a fight, says Brian, they will get one. I think they know by now not to mess with the people of Liverpool. Bring them on, scum media. And Dino, he says, what was the overall talk about Trent and the Cop on Sunday?
It was a lot more relaxed, and I'll include myself in that, to be fair. And you know, I actually felt a little bit sorry for him. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I kind of made me peace with it, and it seemed like I think people were just more interested in celebrating the team. I just think they just didn't want no bad vibes more than anything else. But I think I was a little bit more persuaded by the way, you know, he got upset on the pitch and all that, and you could see that. I actually think he regrets it, Frank.
Well, why doesn't he just turn around and say, I'm not going then?
Well, if you sign a contract, it's very hard to get out of, isn't it?
No, he hasn't signed anything, has he?
I think he signed a pre-contract.
Are you sure? Well, that makes it worse then, doesn't it?
I wouldn't hesitate to hazard a guess that he has, or he hasn't. But I think there's some kind of agreement there that's
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
all right, saying, like an agreement to the mouth, but to actually sign anything. If he signs it still being a Liverpool player, that's wrong. The only time you ever sign a pre-contract is after your last game of the season. And you sign your pre-contract until the window opens. Then you sign the contract. But if he signed that before the end of the season, that makes it a lot worse.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Oh yeah. It's illegal for a start, isn't it?
Of course it is. Well, it was illegal getting to him as well. He was tapped up 2 years ago.
Yeah, 100%.
And who tapped him up? A player that we wanted and we never got, and the boat mates in the England squad. So you can imagine what was being said there. And then told to run down your contract because we won't buy it otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's what hurts me. That's what hurts me. Would they have bought him? I gave an hypothetical question. What if Xabi turns around and said, I don't want him? What would happen then? What would you do? Dino, to lighten the conversation, who do you think LFC will be signing in the summer?
I mean, other than the obvious ones that, there's talk about at the minute. I mean, other than them three, I don't really know. I mean, we've all got targets. Like to see sign. I'd love Isak from Newcastle, and I think he missed out on the Champions League, didn't he?
No, they're in it, aren't they?
Oh, are they? I don't know. I thought he finished sixth.
Yeah, they're in it. Champions League. So you're not going to get him. I've always said that anyway. I reckon that. I tell you who I'd like, to say what Simon said. I'd love Incapi.
Yeah.
Incapi, great left back, can play left side of centre back too. So that's 2 for the price of 1, if you know what I mean.
I think he wants an eye on Frank, because obviously we're looking for another centre back, and especially the fact that he can play 2 positions in the back 4. I think that's something that Liverpool look for.
So there was a lad, he comes on, and his name's Fernie, he's a Leeds supporter. And he said a couple of weeks ago that Tsimikas and Leeds.
Yeah.
And it's just been more or less confirmed, that text. Frank, we are really finally moving like a big club. I can't wait for the new signings to come, especially Vert, says Ale. I think Vert is if we do get him, if we do sign him. Apparently, St. Jet is flying back to Cologne tomorrow with the question mark, Vert, that you never walk alone, says. I thought they might have come together, to be honest.
They still haven't they, for Vert? They're still in negotiations, so it's probably installments, you know what I mean? They're probably
Don't
looking.
say that. We should have had Zubamendi and the invisible man. He turned around, didn't he, and said, can we pay in installments to the El Presidente? And he turned around and said, no, just give us the money and you can have them. And, then you get the spin, these people saying, well, he didn't really want to move. He's a homegrown player. And I said, take no fucking notice of that, simply because he'd have to come out and say that because he's stuck there. No one else has come in for him. He's stuck with it's like Trent. Trent never said a word. That Zubamendi had to, because he was more or less being signed by Liverpool until the instalment saga took a grip, if you know what I mean. So there's always a spin around him. Where is he now? He's fucking gone to Arsenal, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean,
So there you go. You know, we could have had him last summer. I want to I can never pronounce this lad's name. Kvaratskhelia. I wanted him. You know that, Dino.
Yeah.
I wanted him last summer. We could have had him for 58 million. Was that another fucking thing coming out saying, can we have him in instalments? Then we could have got him in the winter. No. Can we have him in instalments? No. And then he was sold to PSG, where he's a sensation. And James Pearce, what did he come out and say? He was an unknown quantity. That's why we didn't fucking buy him. I've got Brian Fennell on. I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't see you there. Good evening, Brian.
Good evening. Brian. How are you doing? Yeah, hello, I'm here. Hi.
Okay.
Hey, Dino. Hey, well, I hope. How are things there? I'm a little late on the news, but I saw that, and anyway, I won't say condolences, but it's so sorry to hear about that. Another senseless, whatever. Anyway, so what's the sentiment there?
What's the atmosphere like?
Yeah.
Well, the atmosphere is one of anger, togetherness. Well, you know, I think there's I know that there's a lot of togetherness here now, Brian. We're all side by side. We're going to go through this thing together. And we're going to fight these comedians who are making jokes about Liverpool, so-called comedians and whatever. There was one, I don't know whether you heard me before, but there was one comedian, I'm talking about a comedian, where he said, it was a tweet actually, so I don't mind to being a comedian. I'm sorry, I do apologise for that. Where he said, I'd drive through crowds to get out of Liverpool. So that was one of those, and this is what we're having to put up with. This is what we're having to put up with, Brian.
Okay, anything for attention. All right, well, I guess there are no crowds at his show, so I mean, whatever. I mean, what a clown.
Blackballed himself from Liverpool.
Good, yeah. Was he someone well known, or just a struggling little ass clown or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heard one before, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, 15 minutes of fame, whatever. Move on.
This is what we're all about, Brian, and you know us. We do move on.
Right.
We do, and we all stick together, as you know, Brian. You've been to Liverpool. You've been.
Yeah.
You know, you see the camaraderie, you see the friendliness, the warmth, everything. That's what you see in my great city, and Dino's great city.
Well, good.
And
yeah, that's your strength. Absolutely.
We're all brothers. We're all brothers here. It's as simple as that. We've got a Man United fan, a young lad by the name of Johan.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely lad.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine. We have a lad from Leeds, a fella named Fernie, a Leeds United supporter. And they're just nice people. There are nice people out there.
Absolutely. And
they agree that we stick together. And Liverpool always sticks together, Brian, as you know. And at the Anfield Road, good evening, you champions. What a day yesterday, and I was spoiled by this nobody. Hope all that were injured yesterday get well soon as possible, of course. And the Snapey says, I think there'll be as much news about departures as incomings, given FSG's priority. He loves these. They won't lay too much out before they receive some funds from sales. I'm hopeful about Kirkus now. Thing is, I said it before, Snapey, about a Celta bike club and this is the way, we're just open that the word, the terminology installments doesn't come into any of these plays. I really don't. I don't want this theatre of installments. And then, the club saying, no, we'll sell it to someone else who give us the money. And this is the frightening part of it.
Well,
go on, Brian.
I'd say, well, we won the league. That's another 96 million. Again, I'm not pocket watching them, but we won what is it, 96 million in for winning the league. I think it is. Last time I saw the number, I might be exaggerated. You have television revenue. That's good for at least one signing. But the good part is, I was talking to some other friends that I'm really impressed with, is just the velocity, or excuse me, the early movement on identifying targets and going after them. I think that's what we as supporters is all we've ever wanted. Yeah, as you mentioned, none of the installment games, or none of the, it could be this, could be that, or signing or renewing a contract, call it just like a new signing. I'm glad to see they're actually looking at players and going after them, saying, yes, he's a target, go after him. Frimpong, going after, Kirkes, I hope that comes in, and Wirtz. Great. That's a fantastic summer already. And it only gets better. Something else will trickle through later in the summer. But it's good to see them doing the business early.
Yeah.
See, if the likes of, which again we're speculating really, no matter what people think, if Jota and Nunes go, I hope Lucho doesn't go. Diaz, I want him to stay with us. I think he's great. Lucho.
I think he'll stay, Frank.
Do you think he will?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad someone said that. But the likes of Nunes and Jota, I think they're set to go. And I'm only speculating, but I think they're set to go. So we have to replace them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to.
So what's this about? Oh, sorry. Go on. No,
go on.
I heard some rumblings about Gakpo and Real Madrid. Is that all just paper talk, or that's all I was going to ask about? Sorry, Dino, go ahead.
It's McAllister as well about Real and Canate. Big Ebu. I don't think, but the way Real Madrid, I think it's media talk, not only media talk, but also some pundits saying they want him on a free transfer. So it looks like, I'm just saying this, Canate and McAllister will run down their contracts, if you know what I mean. And I think that's a bit too much, to be honest.
Right. Okay. Go ahead, Dino. You had something profound to say before I cut you off.
No, mate. Oh.
No? Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, do you know what? I used to give nights out to players because nothing was being done for them, the ex-players. And I gave a night out for these two lads, Tommy Lawrence and Tommy Smith.
Yes.
A night out at the Devonshire Hotel. I gave a night out for this lad, Ian St. John, and I've asked, you can have this if you want, Dino. It's St. John's autograph.
That's great, that.
I'll give you that. Now, and I also gave one, me and a lad named Ian Golder went down to this player's house, and he welcomed us in, him and his lovely wife, and give us a cup of tea, biscuits, whatever. And we were going to inform him that we were going to do a night out up in Liverpool, the Devonshire Hotel. And he's such a honestly lovely man. And one of our greats going back to the Shankly days. Willie Stevenson. And
Yeah,
I've just heard now that he's passed away.
yeah, I've seen your post before.
I didn't know that. As I said, I'm not going on Facebook at all. It's so sad.
Yeah,
He's such a darling man, and his wife. Anyway, I want to get away from John Fairclough. I, Frank, said this morning he was on drugs and he was drunk as well on GB News this morning, Kieran Miller. That's the lad. Francine told me that, to be honest, but I didn't want to speculate or anything. And the lovely Toscana says, I've seen him before. He does sarcasm. This is the comedian. Basically taking the piss out of the police and politicians. Andrew Lawrence, as the comedian says, the polo mint. LA says that guy is a disgrace. Paul Burke says, Toscana, their kids involved in this one, gone too far. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is Edward. Dino singing his heart out on Sky Sports. Now that's nice. And you were?
course,
You
mate.
were, Dean?
Copite.
Yeah, copite. No, you can't be the biggest copite. Callum's the biggest copite, I'm afraid. Haven't you noticed, when you go and see a scene and all that, you can hear rumblings on the roof. That's his tent. He's got his tent up there. He lives on top. The greatest copite in the world. Toscana. The media don't like Liverpool because people from Liverpool stand up for each other. Some people don't like that. It's called jealousy. How dare a club from the north win everything? That's what it's all about. She's not far from. And Starmer should be in the city with Yvette Cooper tonight, but he is nowhere to be seen. Shame on you. You should be here, says Simon. I don't think. I think Starmer's finished for other political reasons, to be honest. The Anfield. How are you, Frankie and Dino? Okay, we're okay, Anfield. We're okay. Like you. I watched it on LFC TV as we only got back from our trip down south and the helicopter views with the Queen. That was brilliant, yeah. You want to see what I'm doing? Honestly, I'm going to put Liverpool in a great light later in the year. What I'm actually doing. And it's going to be great. Really great. And I can say, this is Liverpool. This is what we're all about. And it's the city itself. Hi, Frank in chat.
He's nearly dead.
Say that again.
I'm just going to get me charger for all my batteries nearly dead.
Okay. The Abdul Rahim. Hi, Frank in chat. How are you? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you. Thank you so much. Snapey, grandson wins the watch. Nepotism. Hey, what to say? He started on me already. He started on me. Oh, that's lovely. Though. Toscana says, look how LFC fans and families made sure that the truth came out about Hillsborough. The authorities don't like that. But it was 30 years. We fought for 30 years. This is the resolution of Liverpool. We're so resolute in our ways. This is what it's all about. Even our football fans, you know, whether you're a Scouser, whether you come from up the north, you know, Scotland, and north east, wherever, down south, wherever, whether you're over in America, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, or anywhere. Even Maradona from Argentina, he was a Red. And I do know Reds over in Argentina. They're everywhere. I've seen something which was absolutely amazing on LFC TV, and it was the day that we beat Spurs to win the league, and it was everywhere, all over the world, even in the Yemen, you know. And it was absolutely wonderful to think that these people from every corner of the world, and I don't follow them. I go on now and again, and I have commented, and it's a channel. I forget what it's called now. It's a big long channel, and you see them. You know, they come on, and you see them in the pub. But this is in, I think it's in Tampa. I'm not quite so sure, Florida. And you see them in the game, and you should see them. And they're singing all the songs and everything else, you know. And when we won the league, as I said, you know, it was going to every part of the world, even Borneo. Borneo.
Borneo.
Borneo. Little bar and banderols. India, everywhere. It was absolutely amazing. And I went to this bar that I look at now and again. Oh, you should have seen them. And they know every song they know. And it was great, you know, to see. And this is the following Liverpool get. And I know for a fact that those people take no notice of what is being said about us. I do know that. Because they're all great. You know that. You're an American, Brian. The Anfield. Frankie, instead of the watch, like your grandson, can I swap not having a prize for the watch, then seeing as though it's fucking pick and mix day? Who's trying for the watch, you know? It just shows, you know, as I don't know whether you heard me before. Anfield, but I haven't a clue about who's winning this in the fantasy league, you know, the Champions League, that is. So what I might do, I might just pick all the names that I know, throw them in a hat, and just pick it out. Even if you win it, Brian, I'll send it over to you. You know,
Okay.
And it's a great memento. It's great memorabilia. It's the proper program from the final night 2019 in Madrid, and obviously Mo's autograph. No signature there.
Nice. Now, your grandson's not eligible for this one, right?
No,
Just checking.
Okay. No, he didn't go in for it. He didn't go in.
Okay. All right.
He told me today, he came down. He said, Granddad, I want it, you know. The fella checkers, and I hadn't a clue who the fella was. And he said, I want it, Granddad. So I gave him his, he's absolutely delighted with it.
Okay.
So, you know,
Just keep an eye on that one. Okay. No, that's great. That's great. It's great prize.
So anyway, I'm going to, even Toscana, her name will go right into it. The Scouse togetherness is what makes me love Liverpool. I know through personal circumstances, I'll never forget. Says the lovely Toscana. Yes, she'll be going into the hat. And I know what someone will say. You'll just have all the names of one name. Say like you, Dino, you know, or you, Brian, you just have a load of Brians or a load of Dinos or a load of Toscana. And who's the lucky winner? Oh, it's Toscana, you know. Someone's bound to say that, but I won't.
Yeah.
I won't do that. That'll be a fair draw for everybody. Brian, Brian. Brian. Oh, Frank, come on. I suffered through the famine all those years ago. Give me a true pity. That's a crack at that. That's what. See what I made about what will I like. I love this fella, you know. He's a Man United fan, but what a lad. He's one of our brothers now. Frank and Dino, on a lighter note, did you guys see the video of Curtis Jones telling Salah Trent is crying for the cameras? Does anyone see that?
No.
I've seen something before. I've seen something before, and like Curtis was just like being a bit like blasé about it, to be honest. Like, yeah, I'd like to see it again. I didn't really take much notice, to be honest.
See, the point is, look, I said during the watch along, someone was criticising Jones, and I said, well, he's the only scouser in the team at the moment, and he's the only decent scouser that we've got. And I've always supported Jones, but like everybody else, Dino, I know that you weren't thinking of the game while you were there watching it. I do know that. We were awful, as usual. But, you know, a few of them, quite rightly so, was picking on Curtis. He was saying, what's he doing? You know, and they were right. But, you know, as I said, he's the only scouser in the team now.
I think that's why he gets it, Frank. You know, because the likes of Gerrard and Trent have raised the bar so high. And if you're not producing at that level, I think, it's so easy for criticism to be laid at your feet. And unfortunately for Curtis, because he's not the type of player that's going to beat 2 or 3 men and stick it in the top corner, every so often he's going to be criticised. Well, what people don't see with Curtis is that, you know, he's the one that gets us playing a lot of the time. You know, he comes deep and gets the ball, and he moves it around, and he works hard. You know, one thing you can't say about him, you know, is his commitment. He covers as much ground. He's got a great engine.
Right.
And I think
lack of production, you know, with assists and goals, he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He doesn't get the credit. I made up you said that simply because, and he's under orders, you know, because when we're a bit frantic, he comes on and he calms everything down, and he's told to hold the ball.
Right.
But unfortunately, sometimes he gets caught with it, and that's where they get at him. But when he gets the ball, he moves forward. He just moves forward, and he passes us out, you know, wherever the ball's going to. And that's how good he is. And he takes orders, as I said, you know, about holding the ball up, let everyone calm down a little. And that's what he does for me.
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good point. What Dino brought up. Yeah, I mean, does he have to be a superstar? I mean, he fills a role. There's a space for him on the roster. I mean, on the squad. So
he's a team player.
Right, it's unfair. Yeah, he is. He's a good, solid player. He does what he's asked to do. He's a role player. Yeah.
And this is what we want. We don't want the likes of prima donnas in the team. We don't want any of them. You know, the likes of Mbappe, these type players. And this is why I think the likes of this Vert's coming in, Kerker's coming in, Frimpong coming in. You know, they haven't signed yet. But when they do come in, I don't think that these lads These lads want to play for Liverpool. You could see it. They want to play for Liverpool, not coming in and going, look who I am. I don't think they've got that type of attitude. I think they just want to come and play for Liverpool. That's what I want, and that's what I hope for. What's your take on it, Brian?
Sorry, I cut out for a second. What was the question? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, these lads who are coming in, I've just mentioned 3 of them. I think we need another 2, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I just want them to come in and play for Liverpool. I don't want them to be any sort of prima donna. What do you think?
Oh, agree. Yeah. I mean, it's someone who wants to play. Well, yeah. Well, I won't go into Trent thing anymore. Just want someone who just wants to wear the shirt, go out there and give it their all. I'm really looking forward to. Well, I really hope this Kirkes makes it, gets signed, and like you mentioned, Hincapie. Okay. Kind of like Slaughterback and Lukemba too, the guy from Leipzig.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of talk, Dino, about Alvarez. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he didn't exactly hit the ground running at City, did he? And that's my concern.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd like someone who you're going to be guaranteed 20 goals a season off at least. Someone like Isak. We need someone to take the weight off Mo.
So what you're saying really is that we need a proven Premiership player rather than a foreigner in the La Liga or Serie A or Eredivisie or Bundesliga.
Not necessarily Premier League. Just someone who has got that goals to game ratio, and you're guaranteed to get at least 20 league goals from. Alvarez might be lighting it up in Spain and all that, but he didn't light it up in the Premier League when he was with Man City. And you could arguably say at Man City he was probably with one of the most talented teams ever created. So is he really going to be able to take all that weight of expectation on his shoulders at Liverpool? I wouldn't be so sure.
But what about you? I'm sorry. What about you, Brian? What's your take on this Alvarez?
Alvarez. I mean, I'm not really not very enamored with him. Like I said, he's lighting up Spain, but who hasn't? I mean, it's not a difficult league to light up. Now, if he's like knocking him in like that in the Italian league, okay, yeah, it's worth a second look. But segue Italian, is there a way back for Chiesa, or is he gone for sure?
I hope he just stays for the song.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering how he might fit. He might fit rather well if we do get Wirtz in here, and between him, Szoboszlai, and Gakpo and Salah, he might be that guy, or could be that guy off the bench who knocks in 10, 15 at least for us.
Yeah, I personally think the plan with Chiesa was always see what he was like first year, and then after a full pre-season behind him, where he comes back at the same level as the rest of his teammates, then I think you'd probably get more production out of him.
Okay.
It's been really difficult for Chiesa because he's come in and was hearing rumours that Juventus neglected him basically. His rehab and all that over there.
Yeah.
So if he comes in as a full pre-season, he's an option. He's an option to bring off the bench at the very least.
Yeah.
Or is he an option for us to keep him?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, he's shown in the past that he's he was one of the most sought after players in Europe a couple of years ago, and obviously, unfortunately for him, he's had a really, really bad knee injury. But I have to believe that there was some kind of plan with him. I can't see Liverpool just paying just for one season, hoping that he hits the ground running. There has to be a clear plan, And I think they believe that there's more to come from him, and I do too.
But I think he was bought as an appeasement. I've always said that. Because everybody, all the social media, everybody, all Liverpool fans were saying, hang on, everybody's buying. We're not buying. We're the only team. And look at us. We're not buying. So he was bought, in my opinion, as an appeasement. And you know what I said at the time, when there was only speculation that we might be getting this lad, Chiesa, Federico. I said, if we get him, he will hardly play for Liverpool. Because I watched Serie A. I watched it. And I was vindicated right away. And I was vindicated.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying all that, Frank, to be fair to you. And but for me, even though I do believe, along with you, that he was an appeasement sign, and I also believe that there was a plan in place with the, like, you know, it's like low risk, high reward. If it doesn't work out, you're gonna get your money back, if not a bit more. And if it does work out, then you're gonna get a really good player. Okay, so I'll go to you, Dean, first, then I'll go to Brian, then I'll go to myself. Would you keep him then for next season, Chiesa? I'd keep him for next season, and also because I love his song. I know he was talking about it, wasn't he, yesterday? And he's such a jovial kind of fella. I'm surprised how good his English was, to be honest. Sorry? I was surprised how good his English actually was. Yeah. Really fluent. Yeah, all us Italians can speak English. Even Scouse. But, you know, when you look at Federico, what resonates with me here, remember the Brentford game away, and Darwin scored, and he ran along, he was in front of Darwin as though he scored, and that's how he celebrated every goal. If he was on the pitch, if anyone scored, that's how he celebrated a goal with you know, our players. And he said yesterday, he said, I'm a team, and he was smiling. He's saying, I'm a teammate. And he's very proud of his medal. Yeah. He's very proud of it. He said, I'm a teammate. He said, we did great, you know, and this is lovely. It was brilliant of him. Anyway, Simon says to you, Dino, Trent was told 2 years ago by Madrid to run it down. He got his 18 million and his brother 2 million. Madrid warned him if he didn't, they wouldn't sign him. They only wanted him on a free, but he will get found out, to be honest. That's his defensive qualities he's talking about. But he was brilliant when he came on. Yeah. Would you keep Brian? Would you keep Chiesa?
Yeah, I'd keep him. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's 3 of us then. 3 of us will keep him. Because, as you said, Dino, there must be a plan. There must be a plan. There must be something in place. Maybe, and as you said, and quite rightly, by the way, because I knew about this, you know, with a bad injury, and he hardly played, and he had no pre-season. And then he was transferred to Liverpool. So maybe now, with pre-season coming up, you know, the plan is to get him super fit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's his first year in a new league, new country, new manager. Yeah, first year is free. Yeah, he'll. Yeah, I think he'll adjust well.
Yeah. And the outfield also says, look, it's the excuse now, because I said about Dale Street, you know, meeting there, that's the only place I can go. And he says, yesterday was too busy to try and meet up. The streets were 50, 60 deep of rows of people. Yes, that's right. And I'm not, you're right there. No, you're right there, Anfield. Absolutely. Lads, we need a Firmino type forward. Isak isn't great against a low block team, but over the top, he is lethal. What do you think about that? Do you know that comment there by Brian?
Yeah, I mean, is Wirtz not that type of player?
Well, that's what I said. He'll be a Firmino type player. Wirtz. That's what I said that myself. I think he'll score goals as well.
Yeah, mate, I think he'll be a game changer.
And Brian, boys, we are forgetting FSG. There's a picture, someone put a picture up today. It was great. And you see John Henry, with his thing. And he's sitting on the bus, soaking wet. And someone says, John Henry, and someone put underneath, I thought it was E.T. The old memory.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Or Skeletor, one of the two.
Yeah, I just thought it was not just funny, but hilarious. The Anfield got soaked yesterday. Lucky me, Mrs. held up that brolly for me while I got drunk on my head and get out of the Union Park and the walk. And she sacrificed their waterproof jacket. It's what you call sexist in a big way, misogyny in a big way, but he's only joking, we all know that. Her fever is yet to break today, but she sacrificed herself so I didn't get a chill. Brian says to what? The other Brian, good evening, Brian, mate, you'll never walk alone.
Good evening, Brian.
Johan, I was laughing my head off when I saw Trent and his family were crying, inverted commas, crying on the pitch. Fakes, the lot of them. There you go. I said that myself, to be honest. I thought that was a load of bollocks. I really did. Are the IBRs for us, boys? Even in Franco and young Dino.
Even the IBR, mate.
Scottish Bear, she thought I was in work today. That's why, says the. Do you know what? I'm going to digress for 1 minute. No, I won't, because I forget what it's called. There's a film, I'm actually watching a film, and it's a cracking film. It really is good. It's like a comedic adventure sort of thing. I'll tell you what, it will come to me, and I advise everyone to watch it. I will come to me. It's a new film as well. It's a brand new film, and it's cracking. It's a crack. Right, so I'm going to go right down here, boys. Right down. Right down. Yeah, look, the IBR says if we can get all our signings done by July, it would help them settle in ASAP.
Right.
What do you reckon of that, Brian?
Absolutely. I guess, yeah, since I've been on this show, or we've been talking on this show, that's one of my biggest gripes. I mean, if you just go in, get the business done early, identify your targets, go in, get them signed, get them into camp early so they get ready for the season. And I think it's great. Yeah, if they can get it by July, good. We're good now.
Okay. What about you there, Dino?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to see us being proactive in the transfer market. As Brian says, identifying targets, and then to have them in before pre-season begins. You can't go wrong. There's no excuses then. You know what I mean? Everyone's starting on the same hymn sheet, reading off the same paper. So it's perfect. That's exactly what you want, and I think for a manager as well, that's perfect. Because obviously you know, the later you leave and all that, then, you know, they're going to be behind and it's going to take them time to get into gear and stuff. Whereas you get them all in early, you know, you're all ready to go.
Well, the Anfield Roar, he says, Frankie, Dino and Brian. Slot said, oh, there won't be a lot of business. I remember him saying that myself, even a few weeks ago. But I think Trent, obviously, Joe Gomez, Curtis Jones, Jota, Elliott, Darwin, all being sold. Curtis Jones being sold is new. Dino, let's see you on that one.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be outgoings. I'm not sure about Curtis Jones. As like, you know, we were discussing before, I think he can fill a variety of roles, and also he's a bit of a water carrier. He carries a lot of weight for the midfield. Does all the work that goes underappreciated by fans, but is appreciated by his fellow players. I agree with the rest though. I think Gomez will go. I think Jota will go. Elliott looked like he knew he was going on Sunday. I'd be very, very surprised if Curtis goes.
Same as me, to be honest. I'll go over to Brian. Brian, what do you think of that comment? But I think Trent's obviously Joe Gomez, Curtis Jones, Jota, Elliott, Darwin, all being sold. Curtis Jones being the new one being sold. What do you think of that comment?
Yeah, Curtis Jones is new. I still think there's a space for him on the squad as a role player, unless kind of contradicts the statement about there won't be a lot of business. You're gutting the bench, and I hope whatever you bring in is going to replace that. Darwin, we know he's gone. Jota, again, there better be a forward signed to replace him. And Joe Gomez, he's been marked for to leave the club for a while. So I guess, based on our conversations and other feedback from other fans, Joe can go. But Curtis Jones, that's a shocker.
Yeah. So we all agree, the three of us agree that we should keep Curtis Jones. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Can I ask you something now? I'm not digressing. I know that you'll all be watching the Champions League final on Saturday, right? And I'm going to go to you first, Brian. Can you give me a prediction of that final?
Let's see. I won't really be watching it. I mean, it's but okay, you ask. I'll go 3-1 Inter.
Inter, okay. Well, that's good. I know you want Inter to win. I don't know why. So, Dino, any prediction from you?
I think it'll be 3-0 to PSG. I think PSG will have far too much for Inter.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay. I want Inter to win. Because there's only two teams I follow in Italy. Inter's one of them. And the new champions, Napoli, is the other. And I was looking at them, and do you know what it was like? It reminded me of the Liverpool City when they were neck and neck coming into the last game of the season. And it was incredible. And Napoli beat them, by a point. Myself, as I said, I'm going to be like Brian. I just want Inter to win. I can't even think about PSG. But there's the biggest danger to Inter. I love Simeone Inzaghi. I think he's a young manager, and he's got a brilliant future in front of him. He's absolutely brilliant what he's done for Inter Milan. And I'd love to see him pick it up. I really would. I really would to see that. Anyway, but that's me. I'm just saying that. I'm being biased, like Brian, being biased.
I'd like to be able to say that we went out on penalties to the team that won it.
No, I don't go along with that. I think it's wrong. I really do. I will tell you for why. I don't know whether it was inexperience. I'm talking about Slot here. I don't know whether it was naivety, because he has been naive on a few occasions during the season. When he brought two, I say we're going in. This is going to end up as penalties here. And he brought off two penalty takers for their company. And that's why we got beat on penalties. That's in my.
I just think there was a stage of the season where the tank had begun to empty out.
Curtis won't be in trouble. It's Elliot. That's, like going, I think. The Snapey says, Willie has a pub in Macclesfield. He presented the trophies at our old pub's football ends of season dues. Wonderful fella who'll be sorely missed. May he rest in peace. May he rest in eternal peace. Gone but not forgotten. Thanks for that. That's lovely. Thank you for saying that. I'm just going to go right down here, boys. Frank Lawton, me mate. I've been to many spectacular LFC trophy parades, but this was something else. I've never seen anything like it. The amount of fans, the atmosphere, and the sheer pride and joy. It was a triumph for the city, and no brainless knobhead driving a car like a lunatic will take the shine off it. We wish all those injured a safe, speedy recovery. He'll never walk alone. Rest in peace, Willie Stevenson, ahead of his time as a player. Bless him. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that a lovely, a great testimonial to the city itself and the fans, to us all, and a wonderful thing to Willie Stevenson. I loved Willie Stevenson. Remember him as a kid. I remember him as a little kid. And Douglas James, hello Douglas, please can you smash the like button? Thank you so much, Douglas. Douglas James. Anfield or Robbo will be back up for a backup for Kirkers. Elliot gone, Nunes gone, Chiesa gone. I want Kwanzaa gone, says Daryl Merry. But well, I'm going straight to you, Dino.
Sorry, Jay, is that to me, mate?
Yeah, I just said, over to you. I
lost you then. It sort of went out a minute.
It's okay. I'll read it out again. It's from Daryl. He says, Robbo will be a backup for Kirkers. Elliot gone, Nunes gone, Chiesa gone, and I want Kwanzaa gone too.
Yeah, I don't know about Kwanzaa. I'd like to think that there's a player in there somewhere that's looking on earth. I know there has been times where he's been found wanting, but I've also seen enough to see that there could be something there. I wouldn't get rid of him just yet because he's still got time on his side.
Okay. What about you, Brian?
Agree.
What about you with that particular comment?
Agree. Yeah. I'm with Dino. I think there's a player in there somewhere, just waiting. Then again, our defenses look bad in frequent spots all year. So maybe give him another year.
Okay. And Simon says, I'm sorry, Franco, to say that Diaz is more likely to go. He is 28, only 2 years left, and Deco at Barca wants him. If they can get 1-for-1 approved by La Liga, Liverpool will sell him.
The problem Barcelona is because they got no money.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm going right down, boys, because I'll have to finish soon. Kevin Crossman. Sunday was the best day of my life since 1990, when the great Anson lifted the league. Nice to see Alan Anson with Virgil at the Cop end. That was brilliant. I was not half choked, when I see that. Because we're all passionate Reds, aren't we? We're all passionate Reds. I'm going right down, boys. I'm sorry if I'm going to... there's the Red Bird. Oh, that's lovely, that. It's good to see you there, Red Bird. Good to see you, mate. I've got to go right down. Got to go. Do you think that we'll get anyone on a free? Like Kevin De Bruyne? Would anyone have liked him?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You said that. I'm glad you said that, because it is a don't know, isn't it? I don't know. You wouldn't like to say, nah, we don't need him. But you wouldn't like to say, yeah, I'd like him. So it is. It's do
the pros outweigh the cons? And there's plenty of cons, and one of them is his wages, another one's his fitness record, another one's his age. Yeah. And is he gonna take time off, a young player getting a chance? The likes of Neoni and all that, the pushing to come through. Is it gonna block his route to the team by another year? These are things that I'm sure the transfer committee or whatever you want to call them will obviously have plans for.
What about you there, Brian? Was you that particular comment?
I'm looking at the comment what
it is. What I mentioned before about a free transfer. Would you have brought in the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, or just go along with what Dino has said?
The free, that's their favorite price. If they can contribute to the club, yes, great. But De Bruyne, that'll be interesting. I don't think it'll happen, but that'll be interesting getting him there.
Yeah.
Unless Wirtz falls through, you think that's the case? Is that their fallback?
Don't say that.
I'm just asking. Again, we're as was brought before, we are talking FSG.
I know.
So I mean, when I see Wirtz holding his shirt up in the press conference, okay, all right, yeah, he's in. But free, I mean, sure.
I've been saying it since the Wirtz thing came up. All week. I've been saying it all last week, this weekend. Until I see the players at the AXA training ground holding up a shirt,
right,
with the name on the back, signing a piece of paper that says contract. That's where I'll go. Great.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if we get just say assuming happy path, we get Kirkez, we get Frimpong, Wirtz in, then we find a center back and a striker.
Forwards,
We find. Oh, exactly. Yeah, we find someone late in the window. Is like, okay, well, this opportunity came up. Sure, go ahead, get as many freebies as you want to. Yeah. So, I suspect. I hope that's what the plan is.
Yeah, I hope. I tell you what, I wanted a DM. I really want a DM. Been saying that now. This is the 3rd year coming up. Right. Toscana says, Dean. Right. This is to you. Chiesa went to the International School of Florence. That's where he learned his English. And you know what? I'll tell you something else. When you're learning Italian, you learn it the Tuscan way because they speak the proper Italian. You know that?
I didn't know. But I do
Didn't know.
Should have heard my granddad. And my grandmother. Couldn't have swear at each other. What did you say there, Grandma, to me granddad? Never you mind. Then you find out, they were very big swear words. Fantastic. Anyway, Tagliatelle legs must be given another year, says the Anfield Roar. I like him. And him throwing the cup up to the cup, he is fantastic. That's a cracking comment. Love that comment. The IBR, Chiesa needs to stay as we will likely sell Jota and the Moon. Yeah. The Nunes. Oh, that's lovely. Salah goes to the AFCON, says Edward, in December, so we'll need Chiesa to fill it. Yes. The IBR. We were linked to Fofana of Lyon and Luxembourg. Dino and Brian, who was the last player that we were linked with from Lyon? Any idea?
Fekir.
Fekir.
Yeah, Fekir.
Yeah. Do you ever remember when we never signed him? And why didn't we sign him? Can you remember what it was? What he said?
Said that he and something flared up in his knee, didn't it? Over the medical.
I said at the time, that's a load of nonsense. That's a load of garbage. Because Fekir played every game during that season, and he was outstanding.
But as the following year, he had another knee injury. So much as I hate FSG, we'll have to call it a push. Because he played the following year, but the year after that, he was done. He was down. So no harm, no foul on that one. Okay, I know we were both upset when they didn't sign him. They were ready to bring him in for a physical loss or bring him in, and all of a sudden, oh no, we're backing off. So that's unfortunate. Wait, so isn't Turkey? Wasn't there a talk about him as well?
Yeah, Brian Turkey.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a great comment from Simon here. I think Bakayoko will be coming in from PSV. Alvarez is happy in Spain. Isak won't be moving. Sesko and Guterres seem to be similar to Nunes. Ekitike, I can't pronounce that.
Ekitike,
that as well. They want 100 million. Other option is Jonathan David. So go ahead, Brian. What do you think of that from Simon?
I like Ekitike. I liked him as well. As an alternate to Isak. Isak's not going anywhere. You're right. And we talked about Alvarez. Not really sold on him. But and Bakayoko, hot and cold. But so what's this about Anthony Gordon? I keep hearing that name bandied about. Again, is that more paper talk? Yeah. Is he the new Peter Zielinski? Is that what it is, or just someone wishing him to sign? But no, I really It's too bad that they want 100 million for Ekitike. I'd love to have him up front.
Okay. What about you there, Dino?
Yeah, pretty much the same as Brian there. I'm not keen on Bakayoko at all. Jonathan David, he's a free transfer, isn't he?
I think he is,
I'm sure he's a free transfer. So I mean, that's probably one to keep an eye out for.
That's who's coming then. Yeah.
That'll be ideal.
Ekitike, I think, because Ekitike, they're asking for ridiculous money for him, aren't they? So I can't see that happening.
Okay. is a lot about Fekir and about Fofana. I know we only mentioned that. I'd say get to the text, a message. We're not on about Fekir. I just asked the lads if they remember when Fekir was coming. Addy, Frimpong can fill the role. Yep, of course he can. Simon, no Bakayoko, don't want it and miss winger, not good enough, says Tal.
Yeah.
I'm going right down, boys. I'm sorry if I'm going to miss some people out. Really, I'm just going to, I'll get to the red bird, see what he has to say. I want Inter to win, says the red bird, but I think PSG will be too much for them. It's just what Dino said. Though in the final, there are no guarantees, absolutely. Johan, John McTominay, they call him in Naples now. And he was he was terrible for United, wasn't he? He was.
Was I right in hearing that he got Player of the Year for Napoli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be a terrible league, though.
I know we joked about what Traore being Bambi on ice. That this guy, I know, like Tommy was absolutely dreadful. But yeah, he's player of the year, I think, or for Napoli. But yeah, good for him. Leave United, regain your skills. Yeah.
Well, the lovely Flower Jules says, big shout out to Mowgli Restaurant Bar for welcoming in the injured and helping them. Hello, Frank.
Yeah.
Hello, Jules.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
I think don't know. There's other places as well, you know.
Yeah.
That were opening the doors. Even people I know, living at the bottom of Water Street, they were looking out the windows, because that's a residential area, and they were bringing them
on Dale Street, didn't it, Frank?
What?
It was Dale Street, wasn't it, where it happened?
No, what happened? Oh, what happened?
Where the accident happened, wasn't it? Dale Street.
No, Water Street.
Because you can see the town hall in the background, and the town hall's on the right hand side. Unless
listen, I know
because the camera angle or something.
Okay. Like the footage you watched, he was stopped twice in Dale Street.
Yeah.
He started off by I forget what well anyway, it's the old municipal building that's a hotel now. So he kicked off from there, and people were shouting and screaming, and what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. And then he drove off, then he was stopped around by the Loft Hotel and Rigby's, just around there in the saddle.
So he's gone up a one-way street the wrong way, hasn't he?
Well, he shouldn't have been there at all. And I agreed with our Francine, because if it would have been, please, if that would have been me and I was trying to get away, I would have turned right up Moorfields and got out of the way of everybody. But he didn't. He mustn't have. He panicked. That's just in my opinion. And then shot off again from by the Loft, by the saddle, by Rigby's, and went right down. And he just went cruised. Never cruised. He just went full force down Water Street. And that's where. See, as you look up from the Strand up Water Street, you see the town hall, right? And if you look from the other way, that's on your left as you're looking up from the Strand, the town hall's on your left. And when you look from the other way, as you're looking down Dale Street towards the town hall's on the right. You see? So it depends on where you were looking from, Dino.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like down Water Street the fellow went. He went twice along Dale Street where he should never have been. Quite rightly so. He was challenged by the people there, the fans there. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Because that was a no-go zone. That was pedestrianised for the day. I just don't know. So thanks for that, Jules. That Moldy. Nice restaurants, actually. Kelleher could be going to Brentford, says Simon. Would you like Mabueno coming the other way? Similar player to Mane.
No, he
Dino.
plays on the right, doesn't he? So it'd be Salah's position, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, what do you think about moving? I know he tried it again. You were there the other day, and he tried it with Mo in the middle.
Yeah. Jürgen done it a couple of times a few years back. You know, that season he was struggling and he was trying to fit them all in.
Yeah. So
I think
don't know, you know.
There's the possibility, isn't he? And obviously, you know, Mo's such a good, intelligent player that I'm sure, you know, he'd adapt.
Let's go down these. Do you think they tried to stop all parades because of what happened? We'll go back to that. Just want to say the Redbirds again. De Bruyne is past his prime. Great player, but I don't want him. Colin Dyke says, looks like De Bruyne going to Napoli, Frankie. Okay. What do you think of that? Is this a controversial comment, or is it a comment that seriously should be looked at? Do you think, I'll start with you, Brian, do you think they tried to stop all parades because of what happened, Brian?
No, don't you dare. No, you go about your business. We have another parade next year and the year after and the year after. No, you don't stop because of that scumbag. No.
What I think he means as well, Brian, is that not just Liverpool parade, but all parades around the country, you know, whoever wins.
No, you continue having parades. You continue those.
Okay. Dino.
I don't think they'll stop parades, no. But what I do think is that there'll be a lot of people that'll be scared to go. I think, even my missus and all that, she said, now next time we'll just go to Allerton Road. So I think there'll be a lot of that.
Well, the Redbird says, Brian, if we don't get vets, I'm blaming you. And Johan says, De Bruyne to Napoli, all but confirmed. There you go. And Brian says to Flower Jules, I used to go to the place called JRS when I used to go over. Is it still open? Haven't a clue. And there's another, he was there yesterday, soaking wet. Did you see the pictures from Birmingham New Street Station? Thousands heading towards Liverpool. If it was the other way around, I don't think there would be many Scousers boarding the trains at Lime Street. Yeah. The only way Gordon comes would be if Diaz is gone, says Neil. Fabrizio has been trying to sell David for 4 years. He's finally going on a free. And that's what he thinks of, Johan thinks of him, if you know what I mean. And Johan says, Dino, look at Anthony. He's flourishing at Betis as well. Leave United and revive your career. There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Oh, so Johan looks like United signed is looking at Bueno. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Baton's Yav, about Alvarez, he says, we love Alvarez and he'll help Verts. That's what he's saying. And then he carries on by saying, Baton's Yav, sell Jota, Darwin now.
Yeah, Darwin's got to go. Yeah.
So listen, lads, I'm going to end here, and I'm in terrible pain actually. And I forgot the title of it. 1 minute, please. I'll get you this. I've got us on the pause. Have I got us on the pause? No, I haven't. But I'll get you this to watch. I'll get you this film to watch. It's a cracker, honestly. It's a family. Your little girls would love it as well, to be honest. Dino.
Yeah.
Guess while Frank's gone, a quick second to not give this guy any more, this driver any more credit, but still something about he's blaming booze and drugs for what happened.
Yeah,
Really?
Apparently he was under the influence of alcohol and drugs.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
But
I'm calling BS on that, but whatever.
I think there's a lot more to it still, to be honest.
Yeah. Just throw him under the jail. Whatever Bronze Age or medieval level punishments is fitting, do it. Drugs and booze, get out of here.
Right.
I don't believe the full story. I think there's something else going on. But
right.
I want to know why he was wearing white gloves.
What?
He was with the driver of the car was wearing white gloves.
Okay.
Which I think is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Right. I want to finish, you see, boys.
Oh, go, yeah.
The Fountain of Youth, it was called.
The Fountain of Youth.
It's called The Fountain of Youth.
Youth. Okay.
It's really good, honestly. It really is. And good stars in it, by the way. And some of it, get onto this, was filmed. Now, this is a big American thing. You know, it's being filmed in the Vatican. It's being filmed in Egypt. It's been all over the place. It's being filmed in America, obviously, and Liverpool. I can't believe it. I just put it on, you know.
They use a lot of Liverpool for like old New York scenes, don't they?
Well, you want to watch this? Watch it. And you'll see where they think it is. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it. Right. Patrick, 876. Frank, I was on Water Street for the parade when the bus passed. We went back up, but they were in the process of removing barriers, and we turned back instead, went left up Drury Lane at 5:50 p.m. Missed it by 10 minutes. How lucky is he? Brian says, thanks, Frank, Dino, Brian, and everyone. Great to get talking about the Reds after what had happened yesterday. Lads, look at the amble. MP 33. Will do. Edward,
yeah, that was the police vehicle, MP 33. Frank, I've got some stuff, mate. I'll message you in a minute.
Okay. And thanks, Frank, Dino, Brian, and chat, says Edward. Johan, Natalie Portman is in it. Yes, she is. Thanks for the recommendation, Frank. Definitely check it out. To be honest, John Krasinski. Why have these got funny names, these Americans? Krasinski. He was in A Quiet Place. Great he is. Great actor. He's actually married to Emily Blunt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're a couple in, from Quiet Place. Husband and wife.
Yeah. Quiet Place, yeah. They're married anyway, you know.
Yeah.
And Francine's seen it being filmed. She said, Dad, I was there, me and Sophie were there. Look at that. Screeching around. But I won't tell you where about, but you will find out though. Now, Frank, Dino, Brian, and everyone up the title-winning Red, says Christopher. Toscana. Great evening as usual. Good night, Franco, and everyone. Buonanotte, caro mia, Toscana. Thank you for joining us. Johan, take care, legends. Brian, Dino, and Frank. Yeah, how about that? You're legends now. And you're a superstar now, Dino, but being on the telly, see? Daryl, what was it called again? It's called Fountain of Youth, Daryl. Fountain of Youth. The Snapey. Good night, everyone. Good night, Snapey.
Good night.
Barry Alder, let's ignore the snipers on the line. Wish the injured very best wishes and concentrate on our new signings. Yes.
Right.
Totally agree. And I'll see you all on Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me, all you wonderful people. Keeping Michelle, the lovely Brian, all the way over there in Seattle, and obviously Dino, our Scouse friend, with 2 daughters who cherish him every single day, and saying, "Why visit me on the telly tonight with your dad?" But that's for another video. Night, you legends. Catch you next time, says the Red Bird. Scottish Bear. Good night, fellas.
Good night.
Night, Bear.
And Barry Aldridge, champions. Thank you so
Barry.
much, and I'll be with you soon. Okay, boys.
All right, mate. Take it easy.
And you.
See you later, Brian. All the best, mate.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, Dino.
See you later.
Give me regards to your 2 little girls, okay?
I will do, mate. Thank you. See you later. Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.
See you later, Brian. Bye-bye.
Yes. Ciao, Franco.
Ciao.